Most women don't realize their body has been asking for support long before it stops responding. They just keep thinking they need to try harder or be stricter or be more disciplined. And by the time they realize something deeper is happening internally, they wish they had paid attention sooner. So this training is for the woman who feels like something is off, even though she can't quite explain it yet. So if that's you, I want you to listen closely because what you're about to learn can change the trajectory of your health. This training is not about shame. It's not about me yelling, try harder, girlfriend. It's definitely not about me giving you another set of rules that you can't keep up with. This is about clarity because most women I work with, they're not lazy, they're not undisciplined, and they're not unmotivated. They're tired of doing everything they were told would work and still feeling really stuck. And so this is why I went through one of the most overwhelming certifications I've done in a long time. I'm now a blood work specialist so that I can interpret labs through functional optimal ranges, not just normal. And let me tell you, it was a fire hose of information, but it's been worth every single second because it changes how I coach and how my clients get results now. So by the end of this training, you're going to understand why the scale can't tell you what you actually need to know, why normal labs don't always mean that you're fine, what labs matter most for women over 35, and how we connect those labs with your symptoms, with your lifestyle to stop guessing and actually start targeting. And yes, at the end, I'm going to tell you how you can work with me if you want that level of support, but no pressure. But I will make an offer to you. So let's start with the problem, because if you don't see the problem clearly, every solution feels like another thing to try, right? Like the biggest problem that I see is women are outsourcing their confidence to a scale. And now we've upgraded it to those smart scales, which honestly just makes everything worse. Okay, this is what makes me really angry, not just annoyed, but angry, is I watch women show up consistently. They're walking, they're lifting, they're eating better, they're drinking their water. And then one morning they step on that scale and it ruins their entire freaking day. Like the scale gets to decide if they were good this week, or if they should eat less, or if they should punish themselves with more workouts, or if they're failing. And I'm telling you right now, that is not a health strategy. That is emotional abuse in a bathroom, right? So most of the smart scales, they use what they call bioelectrical impedance, or BIA, and it sends this tiny little electrical current through your body, and it estimates body fat and muscle based on resistance. And it sounds super fancy, but here's the issue. It's incredibly sensitive to things that the scale cannot interpret, like hydration changes or sodium, inflammation, stress, a tough workout, where you are in your cycle, poor sleep. All those things can swing that body fat percentage number and the muscle mass number, even when you didn't gain fat or lose muscle. So when your scale says body fat is up after a weekend, half the time it's not fat, okay? It's water shifts, it's inflammation, it's stress, it's hormones. But women don't hear that. They hear, fucking failing again. Can't stick with this, right? Scale says it's not working. I can't keep up with this, right? And the thing is that the scale can't see what's actually blocking your progress, okay? It can't tell you what's happening internally. It cannot see your blood sugar dysregulation, your inflammation, your thyroid pattern, your liver stress, any nutrient depletion that we have, or hormone shifts, or your stress physiology, okay? So if you've been thinking, I've been doing everything right, but it's just not working, there's a strong chance you're dealing with something internal that scale is never going to show you, okay? So have you ever had a day where that scale number changed and your mood immediately just went to shit? Yeah. It should not have that power, ladies. So I want to talk about a couple belief systems that I have seen come up, and I'm going to smash those beliefs with you today. And the first one that I hear a lot is if the scale isn't moving, nothing is happening. Okay. Have you had that thought, that belief before? This one is deadly because women will do a week of really great habits and then say nothing happened. But internally, a lot could be happening. Okay. So let's use inflammation as an example. Okay. So if you reduce your inflammation, you might sleep better or digest better, have less joint pain, feel less puffy. And your scale might not change immediately because your body's still regulating water and glycogen and stress response. So if you only look at the scale, you miss the progress that matters, and then you quit right before your body's able to catch up. The second one I hear a lot is my labs were normal, so I'm fine. Okay, so this is one where women get dismissed, right? I hear this constantly. My doctor said everything's normal. I'm in range. Everything looks good. But you don't feel normal. So you think, maybe it's all in my head. Maybe it's just getting old. Maybe it's just perimenopause or menopause, or maybe I just need more discipline. No. Here's what you need to understand. Most conventional lab ranges are designed to identify disease, not optimize health. And so functional interpretation looks like patterns and trends over time, early warning signs, and how multiple markers interact and affect one another. And so, yeah, you could be normal and still trending in the wrong direction. You can be normal and still be depleted. You can be normal and still feel like trash, okay? It's like this. So if your car is making a weird noise, you don't wait until the engine blows to take it seriously, right? You investigate it while you can still fix it. The third one I hear is, oh, it's just my hormones or menopause and it just is what it is, right? I'm stuck with it. And this is where I see a lot of women begin to lose hope. And yes, hormones shift. And yes, menopause changes the game completely. But the story that menopause means, oh, you just gain the weight and feel tired forever, it's not the only story, okay? It does not have to be your reality. What's really happening is your body's margin for error gets smaller. And so stress hits harder. Sleep matters way more. Protein matters way more. Recovery matters more. And blood sugar stability matters more. So you can't just throw random strategies at your body anymore. You need real insight. So what if instead of trying harder, you got clearer on what was happening? What if your plan wasn't based on what worked at 28 or what your girlfriend did or what that TikTok influencer is selling or what a smart scale guessed this morning, but really based on what your body is actually doing internally? Again, this is why I became certified to interpret blood work through those functional ranges, so my clients don't have to guess. We stop wasting months doing all the right things while something internal is blocking the results. Now, blood work is powerful, but it is still a snapshot, and that's why I also use a non-invasive scan as a bridge, and here's how I'll explain it. So blood work tells us what's circulating in the bloodstream, and this scan helps us to see what's being reflected at the tissue level between labs. It's like a progress bridge, okay? So they don't compete against each other. They complement. It is a synergistic reading of what's happening internally. And when we use both of them intelligently, you get absolute clarity without the obsession. All right, so let's talk next about labs and what we should be looking at. So first, let's start with the one that affects almost everything, and that's your blood sugar regulation. So if blood sugar is unstable, you're going to see cravings, you're going to see energy crashes, belly fat resistance, mood swings, feeling hangry, waking up tired. And women blame themselves and just think, oh, I just need more willpower. But if your body is swinging between high and low and high and low, willpower isn't the issue. Physiology is. And so we look at markers that show what your blood sugar has been doing over time. whether your body is overproducing insulin, whether your cells are responding well or they're resisting, because insulin resistance and blood sugar instability can make fat loss feel like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. Okay, not fun. And, I've seen women eating healthy, they're doing their workouts, but their blood sugar patterns are a mess because they're under eating protein or they're skipping meals and they're running on caffeine and on stress. All right, next is inflammation. So inflammation can stall fat loss even when calories look perfect. Inflammation makes you hold fluid, it increases pain, it disrupts your recovery, it affects your sleep quality. And when women step on the scale and think they've gained fat, no, most of the time they're inflamed. And so this is why you can eat the same way for 2 weeks in a row and get two completely different scale outcomes because, well, your body isn't a calculator, okay? It's a system. Then we also look at thyroid panels. So many women get told your thyroid is fine based on one number, but the thyroid is not a single number. It is a pattern. And if your thyroid function is suboptimal, you might notice feeling cold, overwhelmed fatigue, like you're just tired in the middle of the day, stubborn weight, constipation, dry skin, low mood, low motivation. And again, women blame themselves. But functional interpretation looks at the full pattern and asks, is your body converting and using the thyroid hormone efficiently? Is stress interfering? Is inflammation interfering? Are there nutrients missing? Okay. Then we also look at lipids and cardiometabolic markers. So cholesterol gets really misunderstood. Okay. Women are either terrified of it or they ignore it. But lipids can show us a lot. Okay. It can show us how your body is handling fats and carbs. It can show inflammation patterns, metabolic risk trends. And for women over 35, this really matters because your heart health risk changes as our hormones shift. Okay. We also look at your liver and detox pathways. This one is wildly overlooked, your liver health. And your liver isn't just about like processing alcohol, right? Like your liver supports hormone processing, your blood sugar regulation, your digestion, your inflammation control. And if it's overloaded, your body's ability to make progress can feel really stalled. And then I mentioned this one a little bit earlier. We look at nutrients and any deficiencies because, again, we can eat healthy and still be depleted. But if your body doesn't have the building blocks to recover and regulate your hormones, to sleep well, to produce energy, again, you're going to feel stuck. So when women say, I've been doing everything right, like, why isn't this working? We need to stop guessing and figure out what your body is prioritizing because your body's always going to prioritize survival, then stability, then safety before it ever prioritizes fat loss. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, this makes sense, but what do I actually do with this information? Because awareness without action just turns into more frustration, and I do not want that for you ladies. This is where my work with my clients looks very different than most programs. So I don't just hand you macros and workouts or a meal plan and hope your body cooperates with what we're doing. I build strategies that work with your biology and not against it. So step one is metabolic and nutrition coaching. Okay. So we start with nutrition because this is where most women have been burned. Most nutrition plans ignore metabolism. They assume your body is a calculator. But if your metabolism is under stress from undereating, chronic dieting, poor sleep, inflammation, or blood sugar instability, no macro split in the world is going to fix that, okay? So my coaching focuses on metabolic aware nutrition, and this means that we use food to stabilize your blood sugar, to support hormone signaling, to reduce inflammation, and to rebuild trust with your metabolism. So instead of fighting with your body, we teach it that it's safe to respond again. And fat loss works after the body feels supported, not before, okay? Number two, lab-guided functional insights. So this is where we stop guessing. I interpret labs through functional optimal ranges, not just whether something is technically normal. And we're looking for like the early warning signs, the patterns across multiple systems and connections between labs and symptoms. Because when you know why your body is resistant, the solution becomes obvious, okay? And this removes so much self-blame, ladies. Like, instead of the whole why isn't it working, it becomes, oh, okay, this is what my body needs right now, okay? The third piece to this is advanced metabolic and wellness support. So for some women, lifestyle and nutrition are enough. And for others, especially women who have been stuck for years, biology needs more direct support. So when appropriate and always in collaboration with a licensed medical provider that is on my team, I can integrate advanced metabolic and wellness support. And that can include medically guided supplementation, peptide support, or GLP-based support when it makes sense and is appropriate. And this is never about shortcuts. It's about correcting barriers at the source, because sometimes your body isn't resisting change. It's compensating. Okay. The fourth thing is genetic testing and personalization. And another layer that I'm going to be bringing in at about mid-March is genetic testing. And so this gives us such a deeper insight, not to like box you into rules, but to align strategies with how your body is designed to respond. And it's going to help us understand how you process the nutrients, how you respond to stress, how you recover, and where your natural strengths and vulnerabilities are. So instead of forcing generic advice, we're going to be able to tailor the strategies to you. And again, the genetic testing coming in the coming months is just going to be that extra layer of what we're already doing. And, this is that personalization done correctly. The fifth thing is science-based accountability. Nothing works without accountability, but not accountability based on like guilt or pressure. Okay. This is science-based accountability. And that means we monitor what matters. We adjust based on real feedback, and we course correct before you stall and burn out. Okay. Progress is not left to chance. It's measured, it's supported, and it is guided, and it is guaranteed when we do it this way. So when women work with me, this is what changes. Okay. They stop reacting to the scale. They stop guessing. They stop blaming themselves, and they start understanding their body. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually works for your biology. So at this point, you might be sitting there with a lot of thoughts running through your head. And, maybe this helped you finally understand why things have felt harder. Maybe it confirmed something you felt in your body for a while, or maybe it's just gave you some language to a frustration you couldn't quite explain before. And I want to be really clear about something, okay? This isn't a pitch. This isn't pressure, because education without support can still leave people stuck. So if you'd like help applying this to your own situation, I offer a free nutrition and lifestyle assessment call. And again, this isn't a sales call. There's no obligation. There's no pressure to work with me afterwards. It's simply a space to look at what are you currently doing, what might be missing, and where are your biggest leverage points right now. And if it makes sense to move forward together, then we'll talk about that. And if it doesn't, you still walk away with clarity and next steps that you can actually use, okay? Worst case scenario, you leave with a better understanding of your body and a clearer direction. And best case, you finally stop guessing and start making progress with confidence. So we all live like we have unlimited time, but the body keeps score, quietly at first. You don't need to be scared. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to stop ignoring what your body's been trying to tell you. And if this training helped you see that more clearly, the next step is simple. Just book your free nutrition and lifestyle assessment using the link below in the comments. No pressure, no obligation, just clarity. Thanks for joining me today, ladies. Make it a great day.